Hi, Zerito here, and today I'm gonna make my first game review. So keep in mind that it's gonna be a bit bumpy. With that said, I want to review this game so badly as it's pretty much a hidden gem. I'm talking about GTA Chinatown Wars. This video is going to be mostly a retrospective at this game, but there will be my opinions here and there. Without further ado, let's get started. This game was originally released on the 17th of March in 2009 for Nintendo DS, which was later ported to the PSP without upgrades, and later released for mobile with modification as well. With that said, I want to primarily focus on the DS version in this video. Ironically, I left the PSP version for the footage, but bear with me. What makes this game so interesting? That it was released on a Nintendo console uncensored. You can kill people, its cutscenes are quite graphic, and drug dealing is a big part of the game, just as examples. In general, Chinatown Wars' tone wasn't in line with Nintendo's family-friendly brand. Furthermore, all the GTA series staples are heavily present in this iteration. And you heard me right, fully fledged drug dealing on a Nintendo console. GTA Chinatown Wars is a very interesting game. Firstly, it's a spin-off that takes the city of GTA 4 and the formula of older entries and gives it a new and tasty take on things. They were able to cram almost all the size of GTA 4's map in a DS cartridge, which that alone is impressive. Bringing it with a very good art style as well. It's on Persona 5 type levels, but for a DS game, it definitely delivers in that aspect. The radio stations were slick, and this might be a little controversial, but I enjoyed most of them. The DS version missed a couple, but that's understandable, given the limitation of the hardware. My favorite stations are Deathmo 5 and Prayer Cartel. They're very good to use Vive while driving, and can make police chases that much better. Just have a listen. The game story isn't anything out there, but I think it fits the game quite well. However, I don't want to get really into it, as I think the gameplay aspect is where it shines. The setting also makes this game 100% more enjoyable, taking place in a somewhat an Asian slash American atmosphere. It makes this one of the few, if not the first Asian protagonist in a GTA game, and you get to see the more mature side of the mafias and triads. You pretty much see everything: betrayal, loyalty, blood, violence. It can get corny at times, but I think the game doesn't take it too seriously and gives more breathing room to the gameplay, which is very welcome. I do, however, want to know one thing, and that is the way the cutscenes are played. They use a comic style of images, which is completely genius, working around limitations of the console, but still being a good and relevant way to deliver the story. In addition, the driving of the game is alright. It isn't anything to brag about, but it works well. I think that's what matters. Cars feel responsive, and most of them have something that distinguishes them. For example, the Duke tanks quite a bit of hits, but it drifts a lot. The Infernus is a very fast car with good handling, but it can get wasted to only a couple hits. It's a thing of personal preference, mostly. Another thing is that driving fast is not easy. Since the camera doesn't go that far, it makes it hard to see vehicles ahead of you. So you definitely have to have a fast reaction times, building up by bits you're driving, which can be a fun skill to grow as you progress in the campaign. Firearms found this game work. They're nothing we've ever seen, but for a spin-off on a limited console like the DS, we have a good selection. You have the regular pistol and SMG you can find at the beginning parts of the game, but as you progress, you slowly build up your arsenal, which I really like. You're not giving the big guns that easily since it feels like you have to work for them as you progress through the campaign, and it's satisfactory when you pick up a new one. It feels fresh and incentivizes the player to keep going and unlock more. You have the series staples such as the AR rifle, carbine rifle, minigun, etc. As I said, nothing out of question, but it works, and the game utilizes most of them quite well. For example, there's a side mission on the PSP version that introduces the flamethrower and also has you burn down some cannabis plantations, which perfectly uses the properties of the weapon. Anyways, the guns function, and that's wordable. Also, quick fun fact, GTA Chinatown has a flamethrower, but GTA 5 doesn't. Lemao lol. One of Chinatown's big parts, which surprisingly makes this game very fun, is drug dealing, a mechanic introduced at one of the beginning missions. What makes it so enjoyable is that it's based on a supply and demand system, which is a genuine way to make a lot of money besides the odd jobs. This system is segregated in a turf map, pretty much marking a mafia's territory, stating the product they make and the preferred purchase. So what I can do is get product from an area where they produce it, then go to another area where said product is demanded, rinse and repeat. There is the occasional tip-off where you can either buy product at a very low price or sell at a ridiculous price. It makes holding product in safe houses a valid strategy, just waiting to get the notice. There is a catch though, which I think balances out drug slinging quite well, and that is the police. If you get busted while carrying product, you can potentially lose it all, making police chases very engaging. On one hand, you can lose everything you're holding, and on the other side, the lucrative side, making thousands for selling effectively. You're going to definitely feel the pressure if you're carrying drugs, and for the first time ever, owning safe houses has a strong purpose, that being stashing your product. Having spread out safe houses enables you to safely stash it to be hidden from the filthy cops. This side of the game definitely has a progression line. You start with only one safe house with not a lot of money, and as you progress, you can afford more expensive products and multiple safe houses, which can definitely help you when you're investing more and more and more in this struggling business. As you can see, the drug dealing in the game is awesome. It's fun, it's rewarding, it's fair, and the risk is always there, as are the rewards. What baffles me, though, is that GTA 5, the current gen GTA game, doesn't nearly have polish and refined of a drug dealing equivalent. It's basically not there. There's no turf map, supply and demand, nothing. The closest thing there is to this mechanic is in GTA's online MC business, and oh boy, they're a boring and unfun equivalent. In GTA Chinatown, you get to drive fast cars, plan ahead of time, and you can choose what you invest your money on, and also get chased by the cops, which can be made very nerve-wracking, but at the end you get to do a lot of money, and that feeling is awesome. On the contrary, the sell missions from 5 are basically driving a post-op van that is slower than a snail. Make some port deliveries and bam, you're done. There's basically no risk in the mission itself, no pressure, and the reward's not that much. Think of it this way, a DS game from the same company has a better, more polished system than the current generation GTA game. It also being a spin-off and not a mainline entry is pretty sad when put that way. With that said, let's not get down and rather keep on going. The police chases in this game are genius. They're not as slow and boring like regular GTA games, where you basically just drive fast with little to no strategy. Instead of that, Chinatown's police chases are fun. They consist of 1 levels, and the higher the 1 level, the tougher they get. To get scot-free from the cops, you can either hide in alleyways, or the more direct approach, waste their cars. You can achieve this by crashing into them, or the more fun way, making them crash into things. Once you do these actions, you can lose heat and get less pressure from the cops, which rewards both recklessness and making smart moves. And that's all that GTA is about, doing things you wouldn't do in real life, hopefully. And I'll repeat, this is a DS game which has some of the best ideas the series has ever seen. So as you can see, this game is a fresh take on an already fun formula that also received a very solid reception, being to this day one of the highest rated DS games of all time. And with no surprise, this game packs a punch. Unfortunately, it didn't sell very well, which I think is the main reason that there's a lot of GTA games on Nintendo consoles. Unfortunately, the audience for them just doesn't like different things, mature topics. I could go on. This means that there might not be another GTA for a Nintendo platform ever. If you haven't played this game, pick up a copy or just use an emulator. This game took a lot of risks that paid off in my opinion. Drug dealing, their pursuit system, the story, this game being a DS, etc. It's certainly not underrated as many people think, but it's definitely a game that needs serious loving. So do yourself a favor and play this game. Seriously, you won't be disappointed. Well, this is the end of the review. It wasn't super in-depth, but I just wanted to share the things that this game did right, and the sheer amount of quality it holds. Thanks for watching. This is Zerito. If you like this video, consider following me on my social medias, such as my Twitter, where I give sneak peeks of upcoming videos, or whatever I feel like posting. Anyways, see you next time.